Morning YouTube, welcome to the first episode of Dunder and Lightning, where we talk all things distilling. As I said guys, this is the first episode of Dunder and Lightning where we talk all things distilling. Today we're going to do a rice vodka using the semi-new Yellow Angel yeast. We're going to chuck that into the still right here eventually after it's fermented, and we're going to make some nice neutral. I'm currently building a new bar that's going to go on my new deck out the back. So I'm going to take you through the steps of building your own bar, making your own alcohol so that you can serve to your guests when they come over. It's always a little bit more special when they're tasting some of your own stuff, and if you want to make it good and you want to make some quality home spirits, this is one of the channels that you should start watching. If you want to click the subscribe button, that'd be great. I'm going to probably turn out one episode hopefully a month, if not a week at some point. I do have 3 kids that drive me nuts, so we'll see how we go. But as far as today's concerned, we're going to make some rice vodka. So let me take you through those steps and let's get started. If you've been into distilling for a while now, you'll know that there's quite a few channels on YouTube, one being Jesse from Still It. He did a video not too long ago using the Yellow Angel yeast and some rice to make a pot stilled neutral. Today we're going to do the same. I'm going to change up the recipe just slightly to see if we can get a little bit of a higher yield, and we're going to chuck it through the reflux still. I'm not a huge fan of vodka. Pretty much only use it to put in cocktails and maybe a Coke every now and again if I'm really thirsty. But as far as flavor is concerned, I'm not too fussed. So we're going to give this a whirl. So I thought rice vodka would be an interesting place to start for a nice vodka to put in the bar setup. I know you can probably hear the fermenter going over here. It's a 60 litre drum I've been doing a rum in, so we'll get to that later. That's for a later episode. Got that cranking away. So what you'll need here is 3 kilos of a medium grain rice. They've got normally a fair bit more starch in it than the longer grains. You can go the arborio, but it gets quite expensive. So we went the white grain here. And of course this stuff right here. So this stuff here is Yellow Label Angel yeast. As you can see here, here's the translation. So we've got yeast, rhizopus, food additives, alpha amylase, glucoamylase, and phytus, I'm going to say. Probably got that wrong, but anyway. So application for making liquor, wine, and vinegar, etc. Dosage is 0.2 to 0.6 of stuff. So I believe that's 0.6 of the overall brew that you're doing, or overall grain. How to use: starter activated by 5 to 10 times hot water, then mixing with stuff. What we're going to do today, guys, is we are basically just going to put this stuff in these fermenters here. I'm going to chuck in some hot water, and we're going to chuck in some angel yeast and let it ferment off. I'm going to first chuck these through. I don't have a mill, so I've got a Thermomix. So I'll chuck these in the Thermomix, mill it down just a little bit more. The finer you get it, probably the better as for your output or yield. So yeah, we'll go from there. All right guys, as you can see, now got the rice in the fermenters. That's 3 kilos each. These are 25 Oh, sorry, these are 30 litre fermenters, but we're only going to go to 20 litres on each. I'd probably do a triple batch if I could. That's being used at the moment. So we're going to do this now. We're going to, I've just boiled the water. We're going to do 10 litres of boiling water in here and 10 litres of boiling water in here. I'm going to let that sit for quite a while until the temperature comes down, and we're going to add some more water to top it up to that 20 litre mark. And we're going to now hydrate the angel yeast. It says 0.6% of the amount of grain that you're using. So we're using 3 kilos in here and 3 kilos in there. So we're going to use 18 grams of yeast per fermenter. And we're going to go from there. So I'll added 10 litres of boiling hot water to these 2 fermenters on top of the rice and let it sit for a couple of hours. I've then used my trusty paint stirrer and agitated it, mixing it through thoroughly. The information I've gathered online and through other sources has stated that you need to stir your mash twice a day for the first 3 days, and this just helps the fermentation kick off and go nice and strong at the beginning, so you won't have any issues. Yeah, that's it. So what I've done, guys, is I've put the 18 grams of Yellow Label Angel Yeast. I've grabbed some starchy water from the 2 fermenters that I've just chucked the boiling hot water in over the rice. I've taken some of the starchy water from that. I've added a little bit of cold water so it's not too hot, and then I've dumped the yeast in. This is going to hydrate the yeast and make it hopefully take off a little bit better once I've put that into the fermenters a little bit later. So we're going to hydrate these, wait for the water in the fermenters to cool down a bit, wait for that yeast to cook. But as you can probably already see, it's already starting to bubble. So already looks the goods. The yeast is nice and hydrated now. It's bubbling up quite significantly actually. I've topped this fermenter up to 20 litres with cold water. It's still quite warm. It's probably about 50 degrees still. So we'll let that just sit for a little bit longer. Let the temperature come down. I'll put the lid back on there so no nasties get in. I've done that for both of these fermenters now. So yeah, we'll let that sit for a little bit, and I'll just pitch the yeast in and we'll see how it goes with a bit of an update down the track when it's fermenting. See you later.
One eternity later.
All right, it's been 2 weeks and these 2 things have fermented out nicely. Just had a little taste of the mash. It's quite sweet. It's like a wine. It's like not a bad sake actually. I might do this again and keep the wine. But we're just gonna fill up the boiler now with the 2 mashes, and then we're gonna chuck it through the reflux and see how we go. So I'll see you on the other side. We're going to fill up the boiler now and we're going to go straight into a spirit run. I don't have enough time or enough resources to do a bunch of ferments for a stripping run and then run it as a spirit run later. I don't use that much vodka, so I don't see much point in that. So we're going to go straight into a spirit run right now, nice and slow, and we'll see how we go. And after 3 hours, this is the end result. We ended up getting about 1.4 litres of 94% off the still. It smells really good actually. It's really, really clean. Off the still, it's really clean until it gets to the tails where it's a little bit, it smells like cheese, like a really stinky cheese towards the tails. So I didn't put barely any tails in at all. Watered it down and we've got just over 3 litres. I think it was 3.29 or 3.3 litres of 40% rice vodka. So all in all, pretty good. The rice, I think, goes pretty well in a vodka. Like I'm not a huge fan of vodka anyway, but I've mixed some of this with a bit of Coke before. Can barely taste it, which is kind of, I suppose, the point if you're looking for a good neutral. But yeah, so I think that was a bit of a success for
the first time, and we'll move on to the next video, I suppose. Might do a bourbon run next. So let me know how you go with your own rice vodka. It seems to be that the Angel yeast works pretty well. Let me know in the comments below. Click subscribe. Would like to do a couple more of these videos. And yeah, let me know if you want me to do something down the track, and I'll catch you later.